Ah, fantastic. So we just need to go back to the beginning. Alrighty. So I really want to welcome everyone to week 2 of our Surviving Christmas Coach Academy. And as I was, putting that up there, I was thinking, no, I'm going to call it Flourishing Beyond Christmas Coach Academy, not Surviving Christmas Coach Academy. So we truly want to use those words. My name's Mooy. If you haven't met me, I'll share my story a little bit later on. And I'm a millionaire team member with the company, and I am super honored that you have joined us. I am very excited, and I really want to, make your time valuable. And with that, let's just get going. So thank you so much for joining. I hope you've invited some more people on as well. That would be really cool to share all this fabulous information. What I really want to do right now, though, without any further ado, I want to introduce my fabulous, fabulous guest and co-host. This is one amazing, amazing lady. I'll just get her picture up there so you're not in suspense any longer. So I really want to introduce soon-to-be millionaire team, currently Global Expansion Team 2500, the incredible, incredible Masae. How are you?
Good, Aggie. Thank you for such an awesome introduction.
And I know we're going to be speaking to you shortly, so thank you so much for spending the time with us this evening. I was absolutely, so honored when you accepted. That was great.
No problem.
All right, so what we're going to be covering off tonight is steps as a new member, goal setting, the basics, packaging your story, and ethics. And these are all very relevant moving towards that Christmas period because all of these particular steps are really going to help encourage and promote, increasing business by sharing your story. So when we get started, this is what a Herbalife member pack looks like. This is just a little shot of a Snapchat that came up on a Facebook post about, somebody that was really, really, really excited in becoming, a Herbalife member, a Herbalife distributor. And, this is the absolute awe we always need to be in because this is such a fabulous opportunity. And wow, what an incredible opportunity to have that membership offered to us, yeah? There's so much that we can actually do with that. So, what you are going to receive in that member pack is you're going to receive a couple of fabulous books like your Bible. And really, I highly encourage that you read these books, the first book at least 4 times over from cover to cover. You will really appreciate what I'm saying to you now once you start to go through it. The rules of conduct can at times be a little bit long-winded. That's true, but you really do need to understand those as well. And quite seriously, we are independent members. We are independent distributors, and it is our job to go through these books, not our coach's job to tell us what we need to do, our own job, okay? We're independent direct sellers, marketers, so we need to do that for ourselves. So registering as a VIP member, experiencing the products. Now, this can actually go either way around because we do have amazing clients that then really would like to become a member. They start sharing their story and, they start sharing the goodness to 2-3 people. And, of course, really the next step then is to enable them and equip them to become a Herbalife member. However, we also do actively seek business builders for the business too. And the very first thing that they'll need to do is get onto the product, get a product result, and fall in love with the product. So either way, okay? And then we set and send 20 goals. Now, we're just going to break that up a little bit for you tonight as well so that you understand that a little bit better. And create and send your like and trust list. So a like and trust list is something that with the people who already like and trust you, people that are already comfortable with you. So this could be friends, this could be family, this could be acquaintances, this could be people that you see every day, once a week, once a month. But it is important to create this list without any preconceived conceptions or ideas, right? So most important, because, really we call this the warm market, and these people already have a belief in you. They have a belief in what you say. They are already watching you, and quite obviously it would be the first round of people who you would share this goodness with. Now, they're not always going to go with it straight off the bat. A prime example is my own son. It took him 8 years. However, he knew from the very beginning how passionate that I was about these amazing products and this amazing business. Then, of course, we need to package your story, because by sharing your story and understanding who you are sharing it to, and understanding that you are not in the limelight to share your story, you're there to inspire somebody, to relate to somebody, to be able to share your story effectively to that person. So at this point, it's not about you, it's about the person that you're speaking to, and to be able to share what's happened to you, but in a language that they can understand. I hope that makes sense. And of course, plugging into your next event, Success Training Seminar Kickoff, and we will talk about the amazing event that each and every one of us across the country has got coming up, this weekend, which is our Success Summit. So setting your goals. Again, this is also in your book 1 of your member pack. Identifying what you want out of your Herbalife business, identifying what you want to do with the products, identifying, what your particular needs are, maybe your dreams, but definitely your goals. And how are you going to break those up? And how is the Herbalife business going to help you achieve those goals? So goal setting is, we call it SMART goal setting. So specific goals, right? So they have to be very specific. So if you do have a goal, I'll give you an example. So let's just say it's a materialistic object. Let's just say it's a car, and that's fine, right? But you have to be specific on the type of car. You have to know how many doors it has, how many seats it has, what color it will be, what capacity the engine is, right? You have to know if it's manual, automatic, the year model, all that goes with it. Specific, not wishy-washy. And then, the time frame has to be measurable. So it needs to have a time attached to it. So it's not just a dream, but it becomes a true goal. So it's something that you can equate back to the number of times that you're going to share your story and inspire people. Attainable, it has to be attainable. It can't be a Learjet aeroplane, first month in business. Well, maybe it could be. So attainable, relevant, right? It has to be totally relevant. And like I said before, time bound. So SMART goals. So this is a great way to actually break up maybe your 20 goals. You can head them up, because you see, not everybody's goal would be a car or even a house, right? So you can have career/business goals. Take a snapshot of this. Money, financial. I remember the very first Success Training Seminar where I was asked to do my goals, and it was 100. Not 20. And it was with President Team Member Narelle Eldridge. And I remember we had to write those down. And I still have those goals that I get out to see what I've actually marked off. And one of my top frame goals was to pay my credit card off. Isn't that something that a lot of people have, right? So it can be financial, spiritual, physical, health, fitness, mobility, all of that stuff. Who would have ever thought that I'd be jumping around and doing a fit club at the age of nearly 60? Go figure. Intellectual, relationships, social, short-term, long-term. So usually with your goals, you need to, put a date on them as well, like a 12-month date. In some cases, helping communities and different things like that could be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. I'm sure we're going to hear about that shortly. And then, usually what I was told with that first set of goals was to do the 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, right? And, work it back that way. So for me personally, when I got going, I didn't really know how to set goals, and I was so blessed because Herbalife set all my goals. I didn't know how to set any. Even though I did that workshop, I could sit there, with pen in mouth still. But Herbalife set all my goals for me. And, how lucky was I? So they set the goals of the vacation being my outside goal. Then they set all the different things. But, what I found was that if I actually just segmented the vacation, and really the thing that really got me inspired in the very beginnings of the business, my very first success summit, let's call it, which for me was a world team school, was the fact that we had not been on a vacation for over 10 years. So that's the thing that really caught my attention, that I really wanted so badly, that when I came back from that event, I was able to start knocking out 10,000 volume points a month, 11 months in a row, right? So the things that inspire you. So for me, that goal setting with that vacation just became like an institution. And I knew that if I could work out what I needed to do over the 12-month period, and as soon as that was released, I broke that up into 12 portions. I knew what I had to do each month. Therefore, I knew how many people I needed to speak to, how many people I needed to inspire. So Herbalife always set my goals for me. And as a direct result of that, that enabled me to always qualify for every VIP, for every party, for everything in between. So when we say that to move up the marketing plan requires you to go for the vacation and probably slam dunk that, that's the truth. Because that enables you to qualify for everything else in between. And we know it's at the VIP, we know it's at the dinners, we know it's at the parties, that you're actually mixing and mingling with the people, right, that are the 3% of the population. And they're the people that you want to be around, right? They're the people that are going to inspire you and drive you when you go back to your community to really, in a very passionate, heartfelt way, help all the people around you. So I've been blessed because Herbalife has laid my roadmap. And then, moving closer to time now, that has then inspired me in my own community, because I'm now building a new division in the Hunter. And I have an absolute goal of, in one particular section of the Hunter Valley, to help 2,000 people. Now, without Herbalife originally setting that for me, I now wouldn't have, that ability to be thinking that way now, right? So a little bit about me, that was. So write down your goals and revisit them regularly. They're really the roadmap to your success, and your goals are your goals, right? They don't have to be anybody else's goals, but it's extremely important to review them. You've got to take stock of them, which means you do need to keep some sort of accountability document. Call it a gauge, call it what you like. And remember, the more focused that you are on your mission, on your goal, right, that will get you out of bed every morning, probably before the alarm goes off. And that's what I really find. like I'm jumping out of bed at 6 a.m. because I am so goddamn excited with what I've got coming up that day. And to me, that's not work, right? So, you know, what are some of your goals? This is what we now have to work on. You know, you've got to take that time out to revisit them. If you did them a while back, if you've never done them before, you've got to sit down with your coach, your mentor, your sponsor, or the person that you're working with that is your Herbie person, right? It can be cousins in the business. It can just be somebody that you feel comfortable to be accountable with, not to, with, right? So with your goals, you can work backwards, and that way you can actually achieve your plan. Because really at the end of the day, let's be honest about it. Like with your goals, they're all going to equate virtually to a number, right? Not necessarily a dollar number, but a number. And if you've got a number, well, here comes your batting averages. You've got to start with a number, because when you can break that number up into months, weeks, days, whatever, then that's when the averages start to form, and that's when you start to know what you need to do, right? So your job description then becomes very, very clear. Because goals plus an action plan, well, it's success, right? So with that, I want to stop talking. And what I really, really want to do right now is I really want to bring my beautiful, beautiful guest on, co-host. And I just really would love her to start sharing with us. This is her document. And maybe she might like to start sharing with us what this is, what it means. I'm just going to let her take it away for this document. So would you mind sharing with us what this is?
Thank you, Aggie. That's my gauge. I'm a very visual person. You know, I used to get a call every week or every second week from my sponsor, Rob, and he would ask me, where's my gauges? And I wouldn't give him my gauges because his gauges were done on a laptop, and I'm not very savvy with the laptop. So it didn't make sense to me, and I couldn't connect to it because it wasn't me. So I had to come up with a way where it made sense to me. So this is what I do every month. Every month at the top, I put down the month, I put down my goal. My goal is always 10,000, but we always aim for above. We always aim for new 5 members. And as you can see there, I have 5 names there. And those 5 names within that month and within the next 2 months, I'm going to help them get to where they want to get to. And then I'm going to work very hardly with them with the people they know. And you can see what's happening there. And on the left there, you've got 3-day trial packs of people who are brought in to buy these people. And I'm going to make sure that they're getting their result as well. So the funny thing is about, in order for this sheet to grow, I have to make sure that I am giving the service that these people are expecting or need or deserve. Our job is to share the products with people, but the products can't speak for themselves, so we are the people who are speaking for them. So we have to make sure that we are giving the best service that they deserve. So right throughout the month, every day I'll be tracking, every week I'll be tracking right down to the end of the month. And if I haven't reached my goal, I'll go right back to where I did on day one and ask myself, why didn't we reach that goal? So on the right-hand corner, our goal is 10,000, and our goal is actually broken down into quite a few volumes. The first volume that comes from the 10,000 is our personal purchase volume. That is the volume that is used in my family. Between my husband and I, we are not the average shake drinkers. We both each go through 8 cans of shake a month. That's 8 each.
Wow.
I know. So with our family, our PPV is 2,500 alone. We go through a lot of shake. We go through a lot of 24 supplements. And then we have the member volume. which can be between 3 to 4,000. And then we have the challenge volume, which can be between 3 to 4,000 as well. And then we have the Zumba and the club volume, which can be around about 3 to 4,000. And then we have the 3-day trial pack volume. Our goal is to do at least 700 volume from the 3-day trial pack alone. A lot of us think very lightly of the 3-day trial pack because the volume is so small. But you know what? Those small little things prepare you for the big things. Mm. So we really smashed the 3-day trials, the 3-day trial packs within our organization. And a lot comes from it. As you can see from down at the bottom, all these names here are people coming from the 3-day trial pack going on to products. And that is the power of the 3-day trial pack. So that's what my gauge looks like. Aggie, I hope that helped.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a question to stretch everyone's mind, because I said this would be conversational. I hope you don't mind. So everybody on the call, there was something that Masae said there, and it was, she's not the average shake drinker. Can you imagine, like, have a think to yourself, your own personal consumption and your sharing of that personal consumption with your clients and your members. What would your business look like if your personal consumption was the same with all of your members? There's a really good question. So if your personal consumption was 500-600 volume points, right? Because 2,500 is extraordinarily beautiful for a family, right? But if your volume was 500-600 personal consumption, just stretch your mind in teaching your frontline members that same sort of consumption. Can I sort of put that thought in your head? Think about that. How would you feel about that, Masae? With all your frontline, working with them to the point where they and their team had that consumption of 2,500. That's where you guys are heading, right?
In fact, we've actually taught our team, also our clients, that the more shake you have, the better, the quicker the result that you have, and the better the result that you have. So in fact, Campbelltown alone are not average shake drinkers. They'll have 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 shakes because they know how great they feel, but also, you know, comparing to how we used to eat before, where you could go through a Big Mac combo plus a cheeseburger and something else, extra fries. What is an extra shake? What is an extra shake in terms of calories and nutritional value? It doesn't make sense why you drink just one shake.
No, absolutely not. So I hear the word Campbelltown. Would you like to share with everybody? There was a little goal there for Campbelltown, wasn't there?
Absolutely. So Campbelltown, we actually had set a goal 28 weeks ago for us to achieve 1,000 kilos within the challenge group. This is the challenge alone. And we actually just smashed that goal the Saturday just gone. So we are very proud of the Campbelltown people. It hasn't been easy. There's been a lot of teaching and a lot of heart going into it, but it's ever so rewarding when you see the results within the people.
So you said 1,000 kilos?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we did it in 28. We did it in 28 weeks.
Oh my goodness. That please tell me that's going to be reported to the local paper.
Actually, yeah, that's a good thing. I will. I'll let them know.
Please tell me that that's going to happen.
Thank you for planting that seed.
Oh my goodness, what a record, what a sensation. How you must feel.
I'm very humbled knowing that we had people who trusted us. And that is the name of the game of Herbalife. You know, the products are there, the products are fantastic, but the products need people to share the product. And until you win that person's trust through your service and through humility, nothing's going to happen. And, you know, me and my husband have had to put our heads down, bums up, mouth closed, ears open, and that's how we have served. And it's been an incredible journey for us and Campbelltown.
Oh my goodness. So, here's goal setting right there, guys. So, you obviously knew how many people were in the challenge on average.
Yeah.
You set a goal, so attainable 28 weeks. You put the time frame onto it.
Yeah.
And because the focus was there, you smashed that before the 28 weeks as well.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we're talking about, setting that goal and how that must feel for that whole community, and how that story will be shared and paid forward again and again and again. So on average, how many people would have been in that 1,000 volume points?
Okay, that's a really excellent question, Agi, because on our first challenge, it was only around about 8 people. And then by week 6, we actually had to split the groups into 3 groups. So it was around about 30 people.
Wow. Well, I need to get my calculator. That's a whole lot of kilos. My goodness. I'm in awe. So huge congratulations. Huge congratulations to yourself, to Lima and Campbelltown. That's amazing stuff. So we want to talk about vision, right? And we want to talk about, quite obviously, your vision, your goal setting. It goes far beyond you. It goes far beyond one area. And this is something that inspired me from the minute that I saw it. And I just went, wow, because this is like impact plus, 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 plus. So did you want to just describe to us, how this comes about? Like, is it because somebody knows somebody in this area, and then it's your duty to help those people, or you've devised an area and then you're looking for people in that area? What's the go here, Masae?
Okay. Good question, Agi. First thing, that where it says impact regions, normally people would put their name there, but when you become the center of the focus of attention, it kind of puts yourself off, but it also puts people off. So you can see we use the word impact regions. Another thing that you asked was, how did we choose the area? Well, most of the area, you already said it, there are people that we already know in that area.
Yep.
And we are thinking of them, and we're thinking of their families. So you can see in some of the areas, we've actually got some names there already attached. Mm-hmm. Now, the funny thing is, these names that are going up, I don't even know that we are thinking of them. That's how far our vision has gone. Yeah. I've got my nieces, I've got my sisters, I've got my husband's families, I've got my team members' families' names already going up there. That's how far that we see. But there's another reason why we chose these areas, because we feel that we have an obligation to society. We also have an obligation to Mark Hughes and his mission. There are so many problems in the world today. There's unhealthy people, there's people who are financially stressed, there's crime, there's boredom, people are emotionally and spiritually dissatisfied and academically dissatisfied. The Herbalife opportunity can solve all those problems. And this is why we chose these areas, because we have such a solution, but the problem is we're not sharing. So that's how these areas came about. Now, we are far from ticking off, but we're already starting ticking off some few. But, we are so looking forward to seeing and feeling the impact in areas.
Yeah. So when we talk about surviving Christmas, and like I said, I don't want to call it that anymore. It's flourishing past Christmas. When we talk about that, and we're looking at everybody on the call tonight, I hope this is really turning some light bulbs on, because this is what I call vision. And, exactly what Masae has just said, heading into January, we have the solution for the top 2 New Year's resolutions. And we're not impacting near enough. So when, to me, it's like when we hear that something's happened, like a car yard or a car factory has shut down somewhere, our first focus should be, do we know somebody in that area? You know what I mean? And what can we do, to share this with them so that we can then help, that whole community that is now suffering. So, the top 2 New Year's resolutions is to, have better health and more energy. Everyone, January 1, that's when all the gyms are full as well. You can shoot a gun through, February 1, but January 1. And then you've also got, the wanting a better lifestyle, wanting to have better presents next Christmas, wanting to have a holiday and not have a holiday at home, all of that sort of stuff. This is massive vision. Like, we talk about that like and trust list, and you yourself said, like, people don't buy the product, they buy us. When they believe in us and when they have complete trust in us, and then they fall in love with us, they fall in love with the product, they fall in love with the company, and that's when it all comes together. So think about this heading towards Christmas, guys. Think about, where is something happening, or where do you know people that you can really start working, towards this January period. It doesn't actually have to be, in your backyard, so you don't have to get off your chair. It can be further away, right? There is just so much. And my goodness, when I look at this is inspirational, because this is like when Mark, in that picture has got, his hands over his eyes, casting that vision. This is awesome stuff. Huge congratulations. I can't wait to check back in to see how that tick-off process is going. Yeah.
Thank you, Aggie.
And of course, the more people that, that you're sharing, with and seriously, get that 1,000 kilos in the local paper, because somehow this vision spider, it will connect. And there'll be places that will grow automatically from that. That's unreal. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
So, we're building the foundations, perhaps getting your customers from people who you do know. And next week, I actually want to talk about social media and all of those different forms of the cold market on the people who we don't know yet. But overlay Herbalife into your life. Don't make it a separate entity. Be Herbalife, right? Don't do Herbalife. Be Herbalife. And, wherever that may be, always listen for people's needs and share your story, because Herbalife has 100%, the solution. So you're there to inspire people. But, it's just that I think that's the best sentence I can use. Don't do Herbalife, be Herbalife. And that encompasses everything, yeah? Listening, we talked about the segmentation last week. Who is Herbalife for? Well, it's for every segment of the population. So, don't shut off to any of that. We have the customer life cycle, which is the client, the loyal customer, also the member. And really then we head towards, different systems will change, or different methods, I suppose, will change. But use, wear, and talk never changes, right? There'll be different flavors of the month on, different things that we can do. Like there's Zumba, and there's Fit Club, and there's social media, and there's, Nutrition Club will always remain, because offices and nutrition clubs is a place where people gather. And that's what people need. People cannot do this alone. You need people, right? It's just the same as when you've got a client who's long distance. It's a really good idea to be able to engage them into a community, because people lock arms. And when you lock arms with people, that's when they stay really consistent. being out there in the ether on your own is so difficult, because when you falter, you'll fall. You know what I mean? So use, wear, and talk are the three simple basic concepts that will never, ever change. They've been around since the beginning, right? And it's everything, you know, to be able to grow your Herbalife business. So, you know, using the product massively, obviously, wherever you are, in public. Once you start to get a result, you know, share that with others. So, you know, you feel better, you look better. What about energy? Everybody needs more energy. This will give you the confidence, you know, with the product, just sharing that story, sharing the story, sharing the story. You know, I had a great conversation with a young girl at the Hale on Saturday who didn't think she had a story. And within, you know, 5 seconds flat, there was that story about energy. What was the energy levels like prior to Herbalife? She's only been on the products for 4 weeks. And what are her energy levels like now? And voila, there's a story. And she's like, oh, wow, I've got a story. How cool is that? Yeah. People will see the change in you if you are using the product. I know my story. Like, I didn't lose 30 kilos, you know, going to bed one night and waking up the next morning. Didn't happen that way, right? Took a lot of time to put those kilos on. It took some time to take them off, right? We're not a microwave society when it comes to doing things properly and with good health. So with that, though, the thing that people did notice with me was the bubble, you know, the jump out of the skin bubble, and, you know, that absolute glow in your eyes. They noticed that straight away. They noticed the way I was talking. They noticed that my mind was changing. I didn't have that stinking bad attitude anymore. I was a little bit lighter in my conversation. People want to know what you're doing, right? So using the products is critically important, right? And that's the whole deal. Why would you not? So learn how to use the products to best suit you, right? Because I know that every single person on the planet can use these products and can get a result. Wearing something that typifies Herbalife. I don't think I ever leave the house without, I don't ever leave the house without being, you know, herbalized. Yes, I bleed green, but on the outside, I will wear a button, I will wear a shirt, I will carry my bottle, I will, you know, carry the biggest thumping tablet box that we all know of. We call that the President Team box. I take my cup. Once a month I go to painting and I take my cup to make my tea in. I don't want to use the white cup. And also, you know, it's an open invitation for someone to ask a question. And the interesting thing about that is that I've taken up like this new little painting class. Well, no, I didn't, about 12 months ago. And because once upon a time I used to paint. And it's like a fabulous relax, and I'm loving it. And I'm with a circle of girls from previous, but also there's a new circle there. And the art teacher actually, after 12 months, has just let me know today that, you know, just prior to Christmas, she really thinks she's ready to get onto the product. That is so exciting for me, right? That is super exciting because I really want to have that relationship with her, right? So it's really cool. So make sure you're always, and here's the thing, to this, I know I'm digressing, but to this little, I'm giving you ideas, to this little class, right? Everybody takes scones and cream and chocolates, and today there was Rocky Road. Not me, you know, boxes of protein bars, lift off, hydrate. And you know what? The protein bars go before any of that other stuff. Isn't that interesting? Right? They're getting healthy without knowing it. Just shows you how good the products are. Talking to people. You know, talking to people's pretty easy. Like I just rabbited on for about 7 minutes there. So share with others your experience about the products. Offer the opportunity. Always, you know, don't just leave it at one thing. Offer the full menu, guys. So don't vomit over people on your first experience. Build a relationship. Don't meet somebody and offer them products. Start to build a relationship and get to learn about them and form that relationship with them. Find out what they're looking for. Always be interested. Stop being or trying to be interesting. Be interested in other people sincerely from your heart. It's like the difference between when you see somebody and giving them a double bay kiss or giving them a hug where you can feel their heartbeat, right? You getting the picture? Okay. And, you know, always talk to people that you know, but also, you know, you really want to be talking to even people who you don't know. Just talk to people. People love a big smile, and when you show an interest in them, pick up on something that they're doing and start a conversation with that, you know, get to know them that way. And of course, just share your results. If somebody says how great you're looking, you know, don't shy away. Thank them for the compliment, and by all means, just throw a little pebble out there on why you're looking so good, right? Doesn't have to be a big vomit, just a little pebble. And it all comes together. It really does all come together. Seriously, just keep sharing, just keep talking. Because really, when you're consistent, if all you ever did was use, were, and talked consistently, right, you will achieve goals, your goals. And success is possible wherever you are consistent and persistent. That goes both for your product and business goals, and we'll talk more about the business goals next week. But, you know, like I was saying before, don't just stop with the product once someone's loving the product. Always let them know there's an opportunity as well. And what I mean, don't get scared about that, right? Because you just don't know where a person is at. And if you're loving working with a person, wouldn't you love them to be working with other people, right? Wouldn't you love them as part of your team? I would, right? It's like going into a restaurant and the waitress or waiter or the restaurateur only giving you a menu for entree. And I'd be like, oh, hang on a minute, I want main meal and dessert too, right? So you've got to offer the whole menu, because I would feel cheated if, you know, I found out later. If I found out that there was like a, I don't know, what are they called? A volcano chocolate cake on the menu, and somebody didn't offer it to me and somebody else told me about it, I'd be pretty upset about that. And that's a little bit about being upset about, hey, listen, you know, if you ever want to make a few extra dollars or a couple of $100 extra in and around what you're doing, man, you've got such a great way about you. I just, you know, I love talking to you, and I know people would love talking to you, and you've got a great result. You know, let me know if you ever want to share that result. It's that simple from the very beginning, right? So sharing your story and the button response, and there is a section on the button response as well in your book. And with next week, when we're actually covering off different methods and ways to do the business, we'll be covering off the button response as well. But I just want to talk about you know, the manuals. So everybody by now should have the new Herbalife manuals, but for those who perhaps still have the older version where we had the 4 books, you know, what we're talking about now is on page 10 of book 1, but if you really should have the new ones, you need to order them if you don't have them. We're up to page 21, and we're talking about packaging your story effectively, or sharing your story effectively, so that, remember, it's not about you. I always think about this, and it was great when we had a training by Emily Revere, where she said that, you know, even when you're asked to share your story up on stage, we really should be thinking about who's in the audience. We should be having a look around, and we should be getting good at having sections for our own story, because we've all got a weight loss story, we've got a health story, we've got an energy story, we've got a skin story, and we should be really good in having a look at who we're talking to, so who we're trying to inspire. So instead of jumbling it all up together, really identifying what message are we trying to get across and to who, and using that particular story, right? Because no one on the planet will ever be able to challenge what's happened for you, right, on the product. Nobody can say to you, oh, Argie, you didn't lose 30 kilos. Yeah, I did, right? Oh, the products don't work. Oh, yeah, they do. I lost 30 kilos. So no one can challenge that, right? You own it. So learn how to share it effectively, right? And then we talk about, like, how did you feel before Herbalife? How did you get started? The results. And also, if we're ever publishing it, right, or we're saying it from the front, we do need to put that disclaimer on that the results are not typical. Individual results may vary. On page 21, it even shows us what that disclaimer needs to be in New Zealand. It's quite lengthy, actually. So here in Australia, we're quite lucky. We've only got 2 little sentences. Sorry. So there's that disclaimer. But please, page 21, if you're looking at the New Zealand disclaimer. So there you go. So I would probably hazard a guess that if I was maybe dropping down the box and looking at the participants, they might be interested on tonight's call. They might be interested to know a little bit maybe about my weight loss and better eating habits. So I would probably say something like, let me introduce myself again to you. My name's Argie Mooy. And, you know, in 2003, before I started Herbalife Nutrition, I was obese, wearing a size, a very tight 16 to 18, a size where I could no longer feel good about myself. I lacked self-confidence, self-worth, totally. Lacked energy. My skin was dull and blotchy. My hair was really unattractive. And on top of all that, I had a severely bad attitude. Enter the education of Herbalife Nutrition, better food choices, movement on a regular basis. I dropped or lost 34 kilos, lots of centimeters, 128 plus inside a 12-month period. Focusing on energy, a sense of well-being inside and out. And this became a real eye-opener for others around me. And my confidence soared, my self-worth appreciated dramatically, and I really started to like myself again. My skin and hair came alive from the A1 Premium Outer Nutrition range. My energy and positive attitude started attracting like-minded people into my life. I'm excited and I'm thrilled, absolutely, to report that I continue to shrink and reshape. I'm in the best shape of my life, and I am forever grateful for the Herbalife programs and products, the support structure, the community, and the educational trainings that all go hand in hand. So thank you, Herbalife. So that would be if I was looking at an audience that wanted to know just generally about the weight loss and, you know, the community and the education. So if I was at a STS, it would be kind of like that, a success training seminar, because that's kind of, you know, people in the audience would be thinking, and it's all truthful, but people in the audience would be thinking, wow, I think I could do that. If there's support, I think I could do that, you know? So, sorry, with that, beautiful, beautiful Masae, I'm wondering if you'd like to share your story with us.
Absolutely. So I'll reintroduce myself. My name is Masae from Campbelltown. Before Herbalife, I used to be 169 kilos wearing a size 28. I also suffer from certain health conditions. However, I got onto the Herbalife nutrition program. I've lost over 77 kilos, 222 centimeters of total body fat. I still have about 25 kilos to go, but I'm ever so grateful to the Herbalife products because I have energy. I can do Zumba. I can spend time with my kids, and I'm looking forward to getting off my last few kilos. So thank you, Herbalife.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Congratulations. Huge congratulations, in fact. So guys, I don't know about you, but that's inspirational. And that again allows somebody to think, Wow. So if she can, I think I can, right? So we're just got to keep that in mind when we are inspiring and telling our story. And, you know, to keep it, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was short. And, you know, that's got impact. So here's another one that I just love. Did you want to tell us about this?
Yes, I just use, oh, this was more one for me, but I do show it when people say Herbalife doesn't do anything for you. And I'll say, well, look at this. This is me before Herbalife at 34 years. This is me, Herbalife, now at 44 years. And I think I look a lot better now than I did at 34. Thank you, Herbalife. I'm going to be doing Herbalife for life. So
Wow.
really, when you show a picture like that, nobody can argue with you whether it works or not. So I say very little, but the pictures will say so much.
Thousands of words. Look at that fountain of youth. That's called sexy, right?
Ah, thank you.
That's called getting your sexy on. Amazing. Oh, wow. Yeah. So really, at times, it's not that important what you say. Well, it is really, but it's how you feel about what you say that's the most important thing. It's that excitement, you know, that everybody picks up on. It's infectious, it's contagious in a good way. And, you know, you just can't deny it, right? So in your manual, there is also a section on frequently asked questions. So whether new or whether you've been a member for a little while, I highly recommend that you go to that section because it's really, really cool, right? So it's our responsibility. We're just going to cover off a little bit of ethics here to follow rules. And it really is our responsibility to follow rules. And, you know, yeah, they're important. They really are, because we all need to be working together. We need to be edifying all of our coaches. We need to be inspiring people in a good way. We need to be leaving people with a real good feeling. And the only way we can leave everyone with a really good feeling is if we're all on the same page and we are all working together, right? There's many reasons here, you know, for some of these few rules, you know, the sales in public shops or online auctions, you know, that's you've got a client that's been working with a coach. Well, that's the last thing you want to see happen. It's really important that you follow the price lists as well. So everybody is doing the same thing. And, you know, that's an equal playing field for everybody. And you can see the last one, well, definitely no product sales. You know, it's kind of everybody has an ID number, and the whole idea of, you know, the products on your ID number is so that you can accrue the benefits, right, of a higher discount with the more product that you order, and that you can move to that supervisor position in a timely fashion as well. And that can't happen, right, if you're not doing the right thing. Respecting other members and distributors, you know, especially if there's, you really want to put everybody up on a pedestal. Oh my goodness, yes, I absolutely know Masae. She's a fabulous, fabulous coach. No, she's not here right now, but I can answer any question till she gets here. I'd be happy to do that. Or anything of that, like that's just an example, right? But you really want to edify every single person. And, you know, it's just engaging people and doing it properly. Discounting's a bad idea, right? For any reason. There is no reason to do that. You know, if a client is sharing their story and you know, there are people interested, well, you know, becoming a member is the deal, because where do you know that you're going to receive a permanent minimum 25% discount no matter what? And where do you know that you're going to get that reward of being increased to 35% and 42% and 50%? So holding on to somebody at a discount. No, that doesn't work that way. And it doesn't duplicate. And really, this is a business of duplication. If you've got to ask the question, is this the right thing to do? Then pretty much you already know it's not. If you're asking the question, you've got an internal sense about that, right? And so really just go through the rules on the do's and on the don'ts. And it's just such a happy place when everyone's working together harmoniously. I think we're so lucky at the Sydney Centre because, there are so many different organisations and lines and cousins, and this call is a perfect example. Everyone works together beautifully and edifies everybody. So on that note, Team Vanilla. Okay, so, and everybody else out there, right? So I know there's a few of you that are on here, not New South Wales related. You all have your incredible, incredible guest speakers happening this weekend for your Success Summit. Now, all I know is you need to crawl over broken glass to finish that qualification to be in front of Christy Walsh if you're down in Victoria, right, girls? And for us, it's Jennifer de Brabender. Oh, my goodness. Chairman's Club member, right? This is going to be one incredible day because we've got that supervisors and above, and anyone that has become a new supervisor gets to spend that special training with Jennifer. And let me tell you, what she has got in store is phenomenal. We've had the conversations, and, what you're going to learn from this lady is unbelievable, right? So her business is just like massive. And here's the thing. She works from the heart. She believes in communities. And even though you may think, if you've been a member for a little bit, that she was in the background, yeah, it may have appeared that way, but when our beloved Gary was traveling the world and traveling on stage, it was Jennifer and the likes of the Jan McMahons and different peoples like that that were doing the business in his absence, right? So everything there is to know about this incredible Herbalife, Jennifer does know, right? So, the stories that she's going to share is unbelievable. She is such a beautiful, beautiful human being. And all the work that they've done for the Family Foundation and for the orphanages in Africa, this is just such a treat for New South Wales to be able to have her. And she's also going to be doing 3 segments throughout the day. And if you've qualified for the VIP cocktail party, oh my goodness, if you're in New South Wales, it's at the Nexus Room. We've got all beautiful food, and we've got a dance floor, and we've got music, and we've got a DJ, and we've got all of that for at least 4 hours together with Jennifer, where you can get up close and personal. So there's still time for everything. So really consider that. And if that's not enough, right, make sure you purchase your ticket online. And if you've already purchased, please purchase your spectacular ticket as well. Because if you've got your spectacular ticket, you're going to get special recognition. I'm not supposed to tell you, but you're going to get an armband on the day. And there could be somebody real special that might be signing that for you. So if that's not enough letting the cat out of the bag, I don't know what is. This is going to be the most incredible, incredible summit that I think I've ever attended. I can just listen to this lady for days and days, and she's really cool. She can speak for days and days. So she can speak more than me. So really, I don't know. Would you like to add something to that, Masae, about attending this?
We have a very young family, but we are moving everything so we can both attend there. So You know, a lot of us say that, look, I've got my kids to look after, but really we are doing this for our kids because it's so nice to, you know, whatever happens to us in life, we can pass this on to our children. So please be there, get there. You know, you don't want to miss out on something, and that's one of our biggest fears, is being left behind, especially when it comes to knowledge, because once it's put out and you're not there, you can't get it. So be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to share with you all too that Jennifer's into frontline recruiting, team building, whatever you'd like to call it. I'm going to call it recruiting. And, you know, so she's in action at the moment as well. And, you know, I just cannot wait. I cannot wait to hear her words, her sentences, what she says to people, how she inspires people, how she talks to people, because seriously, guys, right? So, you know, that's real exciting in itself, that she's actually in action. So that's pretty cool. And so with that, then of course, right, because the number of people that you get to this is open to all members, by the way. So you can actually have a guest come to the HOM, and that's the big thing about this. It's Jennifer's lifestyle story at the HOM. So that's a big deal, right? So you can have a guest come to the HOM. They'll be inspired, and if they want to stay for the day, they can become a member in the break. They can buy a ticket for the Success Summit, and they can stay with Jennifer. I'll say that again. You invite a guest to the HOM. They're inspired by Jennifer's story. They become a member in the break. They buy a Success Summit ticket, and they can stay for the day. That's pretty cool, right? Anyway, so the number of people that you have, the number of people that you invite to this event, right, is going to be in direct proportion to what's going to happen here for you. And oh my goodness, right? Oh my goodness. So this is like, I don't even know what to say about this. I'm speechless, you know, with our guests. So this just gets better and better with every breath. You know, Enrico Carrillo, like what could you possibly say? Like, what is he, Masae, 50K?
Yep, and handsome.
Oh yes, of course. So we'll be sitting VIP so we can just watch him real close up. Is there any female on the planet that's not going to qualify VIP? Because, you know, if you're not, you need your head read. And men too, right? You want to know how those abs are built. But all jokes aside, please read the flyer. Open to all members. The venue has changed, but that's pretty cool, because I know myself, I'm keeping the same accommodation, and it's just 3 stops on that city tram, which is really exciting. So nothing changes, but the venue's bigger. We want to pack more in, and we've got some pretty cool things like the dinner with him and the VIP seating with him. I don't know what else to say. Get your ticket, because there's somebody really special that's waiting with a Sharpie pen to do something about your recognition on that, right? So with that, can't wait to see you guys next week. Time to get into action is what next week will be about, heading into Christmas. And again, I am just so elated by you being with us tonight, Masae.
Thank you. Thank you.
Call off. Love you heaps. Thank you so much. I know everybody else does, so I'll let you finish off, and then I'll open the lines.
Thank you. All right, thank you. We'll see everybody on Saturday. Make sure you're there with pen and paper. Good night.
Okay, let me unmute. You can all say good night to one another.
Good night. Thank you.